What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 15 of The Race, here with Kingston Sprint, and today we are back in the North American Champions League, taking on Tigres, with a spot in the knockout stage on the line. Since the last episode, we have played a fair few games, and well, the league is unbelievably close. It's going to be an exciting run in at the end of the season. You can see, since the last episode, which we did close out by playing Tigres, where we drew 2-2, we played 5 games, just 2 wins in this run of fixtures, unfortunately. I guess only 1 defeat as well. It's not all been kind of bad news. And well, it started off with the bad news, really. We lost 3-1 against Chicago Fire, of course, the club that Bastian Schweinsteiger has signed for in real life. Here in Football Manager, they're not quite of the same quality, but well, you can see here, Lamar Neagle, 2 goals for him, this guy, and that really did punish us, and they ended up winning 3-1. An embarrassing result, really. Should have been a lot kind of better performance from us, but simply put, we didn't turn up. In the next game we had against Comunicaciones, of course, a team we did do in the live com last episode, we won 3-0. I opted not to do this game just because, well, it was going to be fairly straightforward, and it proved to be straightforward. You can see here, Andre Clennon getting the man of the match, a goal to his name, 2 assists as well. Really, really good performance by him. In the next game we had against New York City FC, we drew 1-1. It was a tight game, a draw, probably a fair result upon reflection. You can see David Villa picking up the man of the match award, the 36-year-old striker, obviously a very, very good player. Currently out with a twisted ankle, but well, his early goal ensured that they got a share of the spoils. The next game we had against DC United, the trickiest game really out of all these fixtures that we had. DC United, they are performing very, very well indeed, and well, we humiliated them. A 5-0 win. Julian Green getting man of the match, a player who, well, if I'm being honest, in truth, with Charlie Austin coming in next season, of course we talked about that last episode, I do wonder if Julian Green will be here next year, but well, with performances like this, perhaps I have to reconsider his position in the side and, commit to him longer, because the 23-year-old put in a great, great performance in this match. And, well, we won 5-0 against one of our big rivals at the top of the MLS kind of table. Anyway, our most recent game against Minnesota, a 1-1 draw, a game that, well, in truth, we should have done a lot better. And you can see here, 2 clear-cut chances, 1 half chance. I guess, ultimately, a 1-1 draw, a fair result upon reflection, but certainly a game I would have wanted to have won. Worth noting, however, I did have kind of a completely rotated side to ensure that we were kind of fresh and raring to go going into this game today against Tigres. So anyway, if we just look at the MLS kind of table, you can see here we're currently in 3rd in the Eastern Conference. DC United, who we beat 5-0, are ahead of us. So I assume that's on kind of head-to-head, despite the fact we beat them 5-0. Oh, okay, it's done on games won. Interesting. I can't think of many leagues that have it like that. But yeah, you can see here they've won 14. Of course, we've only lost 5 games this season. We've drawn 14, and well, I want to complain, but Montreal Impact, they've got 15 draws this season, so if anyone has any right to complain, it's probably them. But all in all, we're looking fairly solid, I guess, for a playoff spot at this moment in time. It is worth noting that there is just 4 games left of the season. Of course, if we can force our way into the top 2 alongside Toronto or DC United, it means that we enter the playoffs at a slightly later stage. So there would be one last kind of round for us to go through, and we wouldn't have to do the wild card spot. Anyway, when it comes to the Supporter Shield, this really does show how tight this league is. Obviously, with the kind of draft system and such, it's designed in such a way that it's meant to be competitive. And while the league this year, you can see Orlando City in 8th. They are 1 point behind us on 46 points. FC Dallas leading the way. They're on 51 points. But, well, literally nothing separating really the top 8 or 9 teams. It could very much come down to the wire in terms of who wins the Supporter Shield. And, well, that's pretty exciting, if you ask me, to have a league that's this tight. No kind of runaway team. Of course, last year, Toronto, they finished on 69 points. With 4 games left of the season, the highest amount of points that we could see from a side is FC Dallas, if they were to win all their games, getting 63 points. So, yeah, significantly closer this year. We are really going to be kicking ourselves, I guess, about the fact we have drawn 14 games this season, although that's not too dissimilar, I guess, to Seattle in some ways. The difference being, really, they've won a few more games than us, and, well, a few fewer draws. We'd be in a significantly better position in terms of this season. Anyway, going into today's game against Tigres, of course, we drew 2-2 against them previously. This is really for a spot in the knockout stages of the North American Champions League. If it is a draw, it goes down to head-to-head results and then goal difference. Now, our goal difference is at +8 at the moment, which is decent. Tigres only beat Comunicaciones 3-0 when they met previously. So if we could get a draw today, that would put us in a good position. That is assuming that the results between sides doesn't include goal difference. I don't know if it does or it doesn't. It's not explained in the rules. I had a Google online to try and find out. Google didn't have the answers for me. And so in truth, really, we're going into this game hoping that we can win. That has got to be the aim, get a win here, get our noses ahead, kind of really assert our dominance and get that knockout round spot, which, well, a win would ensure. So anyway, let's get into this game against Tigres. It is away from home. It's going to be tricky. In terms of our team, just a little bit of team news. Unfortunately, O'Neill Fisher suspended for today's game. As a result, Jermaine Taylor coming into the right-back position, a player who really has declined as a player since he first joined us about 2 years ago now. He's not a bad player by any means, the 33-year-old, but certainly not your ideal kind of right-back option. So we are going to have to be wary of that. Part of me actually is tempted to play Damien Lowe at right back instead, just because of the physical improvement. Obviously, better mentals here on Jermaine Taylor. But I don't know. I'm going to stick with Jermaine Taylor. I'm going to trust experience, I think, today. We'll see how it fares for us. Elsewhere, looking at our team, we of course have Andre Blake here. At right centre-back, we go with Ike Opara. At left centre-back, we of course have Fabian McCarthy, a player who, you can see, a 7.8 average rating for him in this competition. Doing well in the league too. Hopefully the 28-year-old can have another good performance today. Kamal Lawrence keeps his spot at left-back. Worth noting that this guy just one booking away from a suspension, which would impact our next game in the North American Champions League, which I assume would also carry over to the knockout stages as well. So that's something to be wary of. In the centre of midfield, it's a Caribbean combo. We've got Kevin Hunt playing in centre mid. To his left in the centre attacking mid kind of role, we've got Daniel Johnson. To their right, Jermaine Anderson, club captain, and well now, as you can see here, Jamaican international. Really happy that this guy's got straight into the national team. He's 22 years old, loads of years ahead of him. I'm really excited to see what he can do. A terrific kind of talented player, really. Ahead of those kind of three players, we are going to go with Kaisuke Honda. Hopefully he can have a good performance, the Japanese player. He got a big penalty goal for us last time he played Tigres. Hopefully he can, chip in with a big contribution again today. And in the striker positions, Julian Green, of course, a player who does go missing on occasion, but did get a hat-trick against DC United, hoping he can come good for us. And alongside him, Andre Clennon, you'd have to say Mr. Consistent. He's got 3 goals in 3 North American Champions League games, and well, he is going to want to add another one to the collection today. So anyway, let's submit our team here. Their big player, Jürgen Damm, looks like a pretty good player, this guy, 25 years old. Yeah, very, very talented player. It's a bit of a German name. Does he have German secondary nationality? He does indeed. It's not a traditional Mexican name, Jürgen Damm, but a player we are going to have to be wary of. He's a very, very talented winger, the 25-year-old. As for us, Kamal Lawrence is going to be our big player. You can see, looking at the betting, it's actually fairly tight in terms of odds. And, well, let's hope that we can get the win here that would see us qualify. Tigres are playing the exact same system they played against us last time we met, where we drew 2-2 and we dominated that game. So that does give me hope that going into today's game, we can have more of the same. And, well, hopefully the players can turn up big on the big occasion here. I'm going to tell the players I've got faith in them. I want to try and drill kind of some support into them. No one really reacting. Perhaps a little bit of a concern there, but let's get into this. Let's see what we can do. We are in our away kit, of course. We've taken the trip across the border to Mexico. I say across the border to Mexico like we are a team based in the States. Across the ocean would be more correct. And, well, let's see what we can do here. Tigres, a team who were very susceptible to the 4-3-1-2, as we saw last time we met them, because they like to play with their kind of attacking midfielders very high up the pitch and wide. But, well, they showed goal-scoring prowess, and, well, they're going to show it immediately here. It's Andy Delort with the goal, or Delort with the goal. You can see here, they've had a lot more possession, first clear-cut chance of the game going their way. They've had a fair few shots. Part of me's wondering, maybe I should play the fullbacks on defend today. Maybe that is something I should consider doing. I don't really want to make too many reactionary changes, but at the same time, I've got to be smart here. Away from home, a draw might be enough if it does go to goal difference. As I said, I'm not really sure on the whole sorting rules, as I said as well. I did Google it. Google didn't help me. It was a little bit of a sad day when Google wasn't there to help me out. But, well, some people would call this a panicked move. But I want to flood our midfield and make it a little bit more defensive. I'm going to pause the game here. We're going to go on the counter. We're going to try and hit them on the break. I think that might be kind of our best bet here. So it's what we'll do. We'll play Anderson, I think, as a deep line playmaker on support. And then Honda, advanced playmaker on attack. And, well, we're relying a lot on Daniel Johnson and Honda to get up and down the pitch, I think, with this system. But hopefully they can be up to the task. And, yeah, we're going to try and hit them on the counter because it's a very attacking system that Tigres are playing. And, well, let's see how we get on. This worth noting that this highlight, before the tactical changes have come into effect, as Jermaine Taylor whips it in, it goes to Julian Green. Do I want to cancel the changes? I'm not going to. I'm going to stick, actually, with the system we've just switched to. But nice build-up play here. Good to see Jermaine Taylor, a player who I wasn't sure whether or not to start him. Well, maybe he's made my decision a little bit easier there, because that was a really nice kind of cross into the box by the fullback. And, well, maybe I am going to be rewarded, I guess, for showing faith in the experience there. It's worth noting that his condition is a little bit lower than everyone else's because he was part of the rotated side that took on Minnesota in our league game just 3 days ago. Anyway, Tigres bringing the ball forward here. We need to defend well, and, well, we're going to be in trouble here. Valdivia whips it in. Blake could have got there. What a stop that is. How is it not in? It's got right, go into 3D. I need to know how that didn't go in. It looked like it crossed the line. I don't know, though. It was madness. Did this go in? Look at us. We've got our green suit and red trousers. We look beautiful. Right, let's just slow down the speed here. How did this not go in? So I thought at this point, okay, we've scored. That is an insane save by Blake. The striker misses it, and then he heads it over the crossbar. Well, we have just been let off the hook there. What a stop, though. We just discussed the save by Andre Blake because he screws up initially. He misses that, and you're thinking, how is he meant to stop it? But he leaps like a gazelle, tips it onto the post, and then it's scrambled away eventually, somehow. Beautiful. That is what we need. A big moment in this match, you'd feel like, that Andre Blake stop. A great save. Since we switched to the counter-attacking system, you can see we are having even less possession. I'm going to go back on attacking, but we're going to stick with the players in the roles we've got them in. It's still a very defensive system, really. And at half-time, it's 1-1. Not a bad result at all, really, if it finishes like this. It would put pressure on Tigres to go out there and absolutely annihilate Comunicaciones in their game that they have against them. Of course, last time they met, it only finished 3-0, and we beat Comunicaciones 5-0 and then 3-0. So, going into that game, Tigres, well, they'd have a little bit of a task ahead of them. I don't know what it comes down to after goal difference. I guess we could check that in the rules, because if this is a draw here and say Tigres were to win 5-1, I don't know what it comes down to. Does it go down to goals scored? If that's the same if they win 5-0, what happens then? There's so many questions to be answered. I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of group stages just in competitions in general, particularly in football where there's only 3 teams, because it seems to always kind of wind up with loads of kind of various kind of ties and weird permutations that aren't really addressed by the rules. But anyway, let's make some tactical changes here. We're kind of getting into the latter stages of this match. Kamal Lawrence, he's got up a booking, so he will be suspended for our next game. Andre Clennon not had the greatest of games either. We're going to bring in Alan Otti for him. It's a triple change with 10 minutes left. Let's try and make something happen in this game if we can. We need to defend well too, of course, but I don't know. I want to go on the front foot and try and make something happen if we can. And while Kevin Hunt picks up the ball here, Julian Green, of course, a win here would see us through to the knockout stages. Julian Green out wide to Corey Binns, the youngster. Can he get the ball into the mixer? He passes it inside. It's blocked. Second time of asking, maybe Honda. Otti. Green hits it. Guzman tips it round the post. That was a really good opportunity for us. We're not going to have many chances in this game. That might have been the golden kind of ticket into the next round that we've squandered. And while Tigres, they boot the ball out into touch. They deal with that. Absolutely no nonsense. And, well, I guess all I can really do now for the remaining 5 minutes is sit and hope and wait. A draw, as I said, wouldn't be a bad result. When it comes to the head-to-head kind of way of resolving things, I don't know if away goals come into it. Of course, if they do, Tigres did beat us 2-1. Oh, sorry, we drew against them 2-2, so they scored 2 away goals to our 1 away goal in this game. If that is something that comes into it, obviously that's going to be really disappointing, and it's going to be such a narrow margin to go out on. But, well, I don't want to give up hope yet. There's 20 seconds left. Something can happen. Julian Green, sweat it, pass it across. What is that pass, Julian? Corey Binns whips it in. That was such a good chance. If the ball across is better, it's a goal. There might still be time. 8 seconds left. Binns whips it in. Keeper collects. That was, such a good opportunity. And Julian Green's pass was just absolutely awful. It finishes 1-1 here, which is a good result because in the reverse fixture last year, kind of this, we got beaten badly, and so to draw it is not too bad at all. And it does put pressure on Tigres, now to, against Comunicaciones, kind of try and make something happen. You can see, actually, last time they met, I think Tigres may have won 4-1 as opposed to the kind of 4-0 I mentioned previously. If we just look at it here, and then we want to look, of course, at our group, Group H. Tigres, how did they get on? I thought it was 3-0. It may well have been 4-1, and I was just assuming things. Yeah, they won here 4-1. So if we just look at the rules here, so sorting rules, it goes results between teams, goal difference, goals scored. So I think that means, as far as we're concerned, we need them not to score many. Which, I mean, this is assuming the head-to-head doesn't include away goals. So really, 5 goals would be enough, I think, for them to go through. Just based on the fact that, yeah, they would have scored more goals than us despite goal difference being the same. So we need to hold out, I guess, and hope that Comunicaciones can do us a job. Of course, last time Tigres met them, they did struggle. But I'm getting all my hopes up here, and it may well be a case of that the head-to-head results don't even matter. And in reality, we're already not going to go through if Tigres win because of the fact they did score that extra away goal against us. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up today's episode from me. In terms of when we'll be back, it may well be for that end-of-season kind of game against Houston. There could be quite a lot on the line going into that kind of pre-playoffs. So hopefully you guys stick around for that one. Just so you guys wondering, the North American Champions League group stage, or sorry, the knockout stages, actually kick off next season, kind of in February time. So there's a long break now, even if we do make it through until that next set of games. So really now for us, the big focus is on making a mark here in MLS, trying to progress in the playoffs, and hopefully string together a good few results in the last 4 games of the season. Anyway, guys, that is going to be all from me. Thank you so much for watching, as always. If you have enjoyed, leave a like. If you've got any comments, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.